News of that today is the last day to raise objections to the draft EIA, that's the Environment Impact Assessment Notification 2020. According to the government, the new notification will bring around transparency and expediency. However, environmentalists have raised objections and said the draft will further dilute the EIA process, that is the Environment Impact Assessment that is done before any proposed projects. It's also taken a political turn with Rahul Gandhi also criticizing it. He tweeted that EIA 2020 draft must be withdrawn to stop loot of the nation and environment destruction. Well, to talk more about this, we're now joined by Vimlendu Jha, environmentalist and founder Swachha India. Also, Debi Goenka, Executive Trustee, Conservation Action Trust. Debi Goenka, first to you, what are your objections or worries with this draft notification?
I think the basic issue is the way the MOEF is functioning. See, the government of India and the way the system works is in a system of checks and balances. And the problem now seems to be that the checks and balances have completely disappeared. And under the guise of ease of doing business and facilitating GDP growth, all the other checks and balances required to protect the environment, the ecology, our forests, our biodiversity are being diluted because of sheer expediency. I'll give you one example. You know, forests are there to provide us with water, with protecting the soil, with cleaning up the air, and providing us with oxygen and other ecological services. So I look at them as natural infrastructure, which is vital for the survival of the country and the planet, particularly in this era of climate change. But what the government is trying to do is they're trying to replace the natural infrastructure with artificial infrastructure, like roads, railways, transmission lines, and so on. And they seem to forget that the natural infrastructure is actually more important than the artificial infrastructure. And what is actually happening is the Environment Ministry has consistently been relaxing the regulations and rules and facilitating the creation of more industries, destruction of more natural habitats, and so on. And that is really the root of the problem that we are facing today. Now, the draft EIA notification has actually reduced the limits within which the public can participate. They want to cut down time frames. The expert appraisal committees of the Ministry of Environment, who are supposed to be technical experts, have apparently been told not to delay the clearance of any projects, and the message has come from the very top, and so on and so forth. So these are the issues that we are confronting. By allowing a huge number of categories of projects to be exempt from the EIA process, by allowing lots of things to happen that were not allowed before, as I said earlier, under the guise of doing business, ease of doing business. That is the real problem that is facing us.
All right.
And to add to our woes, the email address that has been given for sending suggestions, objections, is no longer functional.
All right. And Vimlendu, to bring you in here, yesterday Prakash Javadekar, the Environment Minister, when speaking, he said this is all very premature. This is a draft notification. All these objections and concerns will be taken into account.
Yes, as in, of course, he's posturing and now on the back foot right now. But if you look at the turn of events, just a couple of weeks ago, people who were actually protesting, people who actually sent emails to the ministry, there was a case against them. There was a criminal case that was filed by Prakash Javadekar. So, you know, it's very, very tragic that we're talking about environment impact assessment, but only concern that the ministry actually has is economic. It's all about ease of doing business. If you look at the entire EIA draft, it only makes sure that there's more plundering that takes place. As Debi Goenka ji right now talked about, that imagine there's certain categories of industries that are heavily polluting that has been completely exempt. So the problem is of ease of doing business cannot be at the cost of your environment. And environment is not just about your trees and your forests, but it's also about people who live around those trees and depend on those trees and those forests. And the other very, very important thing is that dissent in democracy. Like, imagine there was a provision for people to actually question some of these projects. And what this draft really does is says, no, you cannot question the government at all. There's no way to raise objections on many of these projects. So it's really, really tragic that it's a compromise on environment, compromise on democratic rights of civil society and citizens who will be directly affected. So imagine if India is already at the top bottom on environment index, we should all be gearing towards doing something better rather than worse. And this is completely giving a free hold. Imagine floor of the House, the Parliament, the government says they don't have iron ore left for even 40 years. Then how do you actually give someone, a no objection for 50 years. Protected areas, that's where you want to build highways, almost 5 kilometers closer to protected areas and forests in that sense. So we're talking about somewhere that GDP is extremely important, growth is extremely important, but we don't understand that a lakh and a half people, 1.5 million people die in India because of air pollution. Most of our rivers are completely polluted. There are coal auctions happening in central India. Almost 40 coal fields will be auctioned, and which would mean thousands of hectares of forest that will be completely dissipated. So when we're talking about all that, the new normal that we want to create is dissentless, voiceless, no citizen participation, and completely giving our natural resources to crony capitalists.
All right, let me get back, Devi Goenka here, and this new normal, that has been much touted ever since the pandemic broke. Devi Goenka, we would have thought that there'd be more emphasis on protecting the environment after that. Even the UN has spoken about how there has to be a new type of development. It can't be, business as usual. And but with this draft notification, that is the worry among environmentalists. Are you hopeful that these protests that have been raised, that these concerns that have been raised will be taken into account with, as I was just saying to Vimlendu, Prakash Javadekar saying that, it's very premature to protest right now, that this is just a draft notification. Also interesting that Rahul Gandhi should also raise the issue right now.
Well, I think you have to look at the track record of the Environment Ministry. See the response that Mr. Jairam Ramesh, the former Environment Minister, got from Mr. Javadekar. When, as chairman of the Parliamentary Committee for Environment Ministry, he wrote a letter expressing his concerns. And the immediate response was that none of this is factually correct. Whereas, in fact, I think the concerns raised by Jairam were actually factually correct. There's a recent example of the coastal regulation zone notification also. And the ministry's track record is after they issue the draft notification, after they receive suggestion and objection, they actually further dilute the regulation when they issue the final notification. So the whole exercise is actually reduced to a formality. And given the fact that we are the largest democracy in the world, if the public is not involved in the decision-making process, I think there is something fundamentally wrong. And I just want to say I am not a politician. I am not involved in any political party. I've been very critical of decisions taken by Manmohan Singh and Jairam Ramesh when they were in power. So this is not at all political. And given the COVID-19 crisis, the fact that COVID has been linked to biodiversity loss and wildlife trade and so on.
Absolutely.
And the fact that actually many more people are dying because of air pollution and water pollution than they are of COVID-19. I think these are all issues that the government should consider. And if we are talking about protecting the rights of people and the livelihoods of people, I think it is a paramount duty of the government to protect the biodiversity, the forests and so on, and not dilute the environmental regulation any further.
All right, Vimlendu, for our viewers, for them to understand, if you could give one example of what this draft notification, what it means for certain projects and, certain projects will no longer need to undergo this entire process.
So for example, a river valley project, a water project, for example, or mining in that sense, many of these projects are completely exempt from any permission seeking or any environment clearance. That's very, very important. The other is post facto clearance. So, you might not get a clearance from the government on a particular project, and you can continue with the project. And after that, you can actually go and apply for a clearance. So there are several violations. Similarly, as I said, that, setting up of projects closer to ecologically sensitive areas, imagine India's commitment on coal, in the sense that going no coal, to how we are actually expediting the process of mining and of iron ore and of coal and everything else. Many of these aspects clearly says that the basic reason why we had environment impact assessment law in our country, it came from Bhopal gas tragedy, 84,
right.
And that's when in 86 we actually formed Environmental Protection Act. And we will actually keep creating more and more Bhopal gas tragedies or more tragedies, because imagine in this COVID time itself, we've had several disasters, several industrial disasters, and then we actually have a law like this that tells the government, that tells the corporations or industries to not worry about environment, but just to keep bidding and keep doing these mining
right.
and chemical industries. Imagine chemical industries in close vicinity of protected areas and communities will not need any permission, and you can't raise any objection as a citizen at all. In fact, the government will decide which citizen, if at all in cases that you can raise objections, which citizen can actually raise objection, and of what nature of objections can be raised. So it's very draconian, it's very undemocratic, and it is something which will bring down and screw our environment further.
All right, well, Vimlendu, thank you so much. I will end it there. Thank you, Vimlendu and Devi Goenka, for joining us. And as I said, the Union Minister Prakash Javadekar said that all these complaints will be taken into account. That is something that we, the media, will need to track very, very closely.